Star Trek's original 6 movies did one thing so much better than the TNG and Kelvin films. When Star Trek, the motion picture, launched in 1979, it reintroduced the Enterprise crew as larger-than-life legends returning from television history to the silver screen. Over the next 12 years, 5 sequels would follow, each building on the chemistry, ideals, and character-driven storytelling that defined the original Star Trek. While the franchise has evolved across generations, from the Next Generation movies to the flashy Kelvin timeline reboots, there's still one thing those first 6 films did undeniably better. They understood the emotional heartbeat of Star Trek's legacy, aging, friendship, and purpose. The original crew's greatest strength: humanity over spectacle. The 6 films starring William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and DeForest Kelley weren't about special effects or saving the galaxy from temporal paradoxes. They were about people, aging explorers wrestling with relevance, mortality, and the weight of command. From The Wrath of Khan to The Undiscovered Country, these movies used sci-fi as a mirror to human experience. By contrast, the Next Generation movies and the Kelvin timeline often leaned on spectacle. The TNG films, particularly Generations and Insurrection, tried to inject emotion but frequently fell short of the deep introspection that made the original films timeless. The Kelvin movies Star Trek 2009, Into Darkness, and Beyond offered adrenaline and flash, but they never paused long enough to let the characters breathe. The original 6 were often small in scale, but huge in emotional scope. The Wrath of Khan didn't rely on a fleet battle or a massive villain plot. It was a duel between 2 old men haunted by their pasts, one seeking revenge and the other confronting the cost of command. It wasn't just an action movie, it was a meditation on aging and regret. Star Trek's heart, the Kirk-Spock-McCoy dynamic. Perhaps the most powerful thread running through all 6 films was the friendship between Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. That triad became the emotional spine of the franchise. Their arguments, banter, and sacrifices made every mission personal. You could strip away the phasers and warp drives, and it would still be compelling drama. When Spock died in The Wrath of Khan, audiences didn't mourn a sci-fi icon, they mourned a friend. His final words to Kirk, "I have been, and always shall be, your friend," carried weight because 5 previous adventures had built that relationship brick by brick. The TNG movies never managed to create that same sense of deep, earned connection. Captain Picard's relationships with Riker, Data, or Beverly were often intellectual or professional rather than emotionally raw. And in the Kelvin timeline, while Chris Pine's Kirk and Zachary Quinto's Spock had chemistry, their friendship felt accelerated, manufactured to fit modern blockbuster pacing. The original films earned their emotions over decades, not minutes. Accepting change and mortality. The brilliance of the original movies lies in how openly they confronted aging. From Kirk's midlife crisis in The Wrath of Khan to the crew's literal retirement in The Undiscovered Country, these films showed that even Starfleet legends face the passage of time. Kirk struggles with irrelevance, Spock wrestles with logic versus emotion, and McCoy laments the loss of the old ways. That vulnerability gave these characters depth. They weren't ageless heroes. They were human beings coming to terms with who they'd become. By contrast, the Next Generation films largely avoided this subject. The Enterprise D crew barely aged across their movies, and when Picard did face loss, as in Generations or Nemesis, it was usually filtered through action sequences or plot-driven tragedy. The Kelvin movies, featuring younger versions of the crew, couldn't touch these themes at all. They were too busy rebooting legacy rather than reflecting on it. In short, the original 6 films didn't just continue the TV series, they completed it. They allowed their characters to evolve, falter, and ultimately find peace. The stakes were personal, not galactic. Another subtle brilliance of the original movies was their restraint. The stakes weren't always about saving Earth or rewriting time. The search for Spock was about loyalty. The voyage home was about redemption and environmental responsibility. Even The Final Frontier, for all its flaws, dared to ask spiritual,